Hello, everybody. I'm Mikey.
And I'm Corey.
Every week we discuss and review a new book, movie, album, TV show, or honestly any piece of art or culture that ourselves and you guys choose. This is Mind Control. So there was these people who were being kidnapped and mind controlled.
Exactly, dude. And I can totally see how that happened. Because, like, imagine if you were just given acid or just drugs like that that are so disorienting for hours and hours on end and never being able to come down and not feeling safe and having somebody tell you things and accuse you of things, you know? Yeah.
Mind control. That's how we do it, baby. GG's. Mind control.
On this week's episode of Mind Control, we're going to be discussing the 2019 Ari Aster film, Midsommar.
And on our special Halloween episode of Mind Control, we're going to be discussing the classic horror movie, The Exorcist.
Midsommar was filmed in New York as well as Budapest, Hungary, and was released in the USA on July 3rd, 2019. The film stars Florence Pugh as Dani Arter, a young woman coping with the tragic death of both her bipolar sister Terry, played by Claudia Sagni, as well as the death of both of her parents. Dealing with themes of grief, finding a family, and a relationship gone awry, Midsommar has cemented itself as a one-of-a-kind breakup/horror film that audiences will still be discussing many years from now. This is Midsommar.
Bro, when you went out, that was a... Should have screenshotted it. That was really scary when you had the door open and like it just looked pitch black. So when you went in there, I couldn't see you anymore.
Holy
and,
shit!
The shot of the room was very like horror-esque. I was like, oh, it's an Ari Aster film starting right now.
Holy shit, bro! I wish I had like a lot of money so I could somehow like set up like a mind control podcast that we do one day, and there'd just be like these crazy special effects on my end. So it looks like I'm being murdered or like some crazy shit, but it's all fake. And I just freak you out. That'd be tight.
I'm down for it. For sure.
We can just get into it. Yeah, just go for it. I'm already recording.
Okay. So the intro I'll just do after. Yeah, for sure. All right, man.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Mind Control. This is episode 8, and today we're gonna be doing episode 8 because 7 was Hereditary. Right. So we're doing Midsommar today, the 2019 film by Ari Aster. I saw it when it came out. So
hold on, Rob. I'm gonna let you go. But how come you call it Midsommar? Is that how it's supposed to be said? Because I heard other people call it Midsummer.
Yeah, okay, so I actually looked that up today just to make sure before I did it, and actually Ari Aster actually gave an interview and they asked him about it, and he didn't really seem concerned with it. He says Midsommar, but he said people also call it Midsummer. So, I mean, either way, I think it's, I don't know, I think Midsommar is like the Swedish way of saying it, because I looked it up and it's like Midsommar, or like, I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
But yeah. So, But I mean, most people say Midsummer because either way, it's about the Midsummer Festival. So, I looked it up specifically because I want to know how he said it, and he says Midsommar, but he didn't seem to care when people said Midsummer.
All right, cool. I was confused.
Like same shit.
All right. Yeah, I heard a couple people say it, and then other people say Midsummer too. But all right, you go ahead.
Should you start the movie?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I actually rented it on YouTube on the way up from work and watched it in the car because I watched the first half again last night and I rewatched the second half on the way from work. It was tight. Yeah. But the naked fucking parts at the end were a little uncomfortable in the car. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, with the ladies.
Yeah, because I was in the car and I have my fucking phone set up like that, so it is dark, and so people could see straight in my car and I see a bunch of naked people. So I was like a little uncomfortable. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so I mean, let's just get into it. So, I mean, what did you think about it? I mean, you know, this is your first time. I saw it like a year ago when it came out. So rewatching it for me though, I'm not gonna lie, was I don't know, difficult, I guess, because the first time I watched it, I went in because I had seen Hereditary, expecting fucking Hereditary, kind of, you know, but in daylight, you know, and then so I was kind of thrown off because of like, you know how it's paced. It's a lot slower. Yeah. It's a lot like a build up. There's not really any like big fucking jump out scares or anything like that. It's very subtle, I feel like, in what it does. But rewatching it, not expecting it to be that way, it was like a completely different experience for me. And then I think I told you I watched it too when I had first kind of was stopping smoking too. So it fucked me up just because it's so depressing. Like, dude, at the end of it, I watched it by myself, dude, and I don't know why I found myself bawling like a little bitch. Like, I was like, but I think it was just because like I was upset and I felt like, I don't know, dude, the movie was just so fucking depressing. Like, I mean, I think it ends on a high note, but for most of the movie, like, and then watching her, Florence Pugh, the main girl who plays Danny, like, dude, she's fucking amazing. Just like Toni Collette in Hereditary. Like,
what's her name?
Fucking Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh. Okay.
Yeah, she's in this other movie too. This wrestling movie is pretty good with The Rock.
I've seen her before. I feel like.
Have you seen that movie with The Rock where she plays Paige and it's like about wrestling and she gets discovered? It's called something like The Family or something. It came out like 3 years ago.
Maybe
that's the only thing I've seen her in really. But and then this and dude, she's just fucking amazing. Like the crying scenes they're almost too real, and like the relationship, like. Yeah. It's hard to watch, dude. Like, like the dude's an asshole. And I'm like, dude, I feel like I've done some of those things. I've been an asshole like that before, Like he's such an asshole in the beginning. Yeah. I mean, the whole movie.
It's so funny. I think in Ari Aster's films, there needs to be a woman who is crying obnoxiously. That's just part of his films, it seems like. But no, yeah, I mean, if you're asking like my overall thought of the movie was I fucking loved it. I really did. I thought it was a great movie. Towards the end, it felt like it was super confusing and hard to comprehend, and there was so much happening. And not necessarily so much happening, but so much happening that was hard to like understand. That towards the end, it's like you know how there's those movies, and I feel like before we did this podcast, or before even as of the last, like, I don't know, a couple years maybe, or just like understanding movies and art a little bit better, I feel like I've noticed that like there's been movies throughout my life that I've watched and I've been like, that was fucking stupid, like at the end, just because I didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And this, I feel like, is one of those movies that I probably would have felt that way about. I knew I didn't understand it, and towards the end, because I didn't understand it, it was kind of like, I don't know, it kind of just left me a little unsatisfied, I guess, at my first watch. Dude, but at my second watch and then researching it more, I was like, oh, fuck. So, yeah, it was wild.
No, dude, I think that's a common thing. I actually, when me and Frankie went to see it, we actually went with a group of people. We went like Thomas, Hannah. We went with a bunch of people, actually, and everybody was hyped up because I had been talking about Hereditary. So I was like, dude, this shit's going to be amazing. Let's all go see it. And then I think everybody kind of left the theater very dissatisfied. Everybody was like, what the fuck was that? Like, wasn't anything what I expected. And honestly, I felt that way too. Like when I left, I was like confused. And at the same time, I was kind of like, what did I just watch? That was kind of weird. It was kind of slow. But then rewatching it now, because actually for the podcast, this is the first time I've watched it since then. And now I guess watching it to watch for the podcast, like you said, and watching it to like, actually watch it as a piece of art and not just like to be entertained. It's like, oh shit, like this shit is really, like, he's a really good filmmaker. Like, the little things he inserts, and then even like the camera shots, like it's very similar to Hereditary, how they're long shots,
beautiful,
they're not too long, and then it's like very beautiful.
Almost every single, I remember somebody was mentioning this about the movie 300, but they said every single shot in that movie could be a work of art, could be a framed poster or picture on a wall. And I feel like that's very similar,
Yeah, no, this one, dude, this movie, man, because honestly, the first time I saw it, I was a little dissatisfied, I think, story-wise. But like visually, I remember walking on the theater, like my eyes felt fucked up. I felt like I had eaten mushrooms or something and like had just come down. Like my eyes felt like dilated, like my pupils. I felt like, fuck.
Let me say this. You just said you felt like you were on shrooms. Bruh, I was literally screaming, holding onto my couch because I was drinking and watching this with Monica and I was fucking super stoned. I made myself get super stoned. But I was sitting there and we had the TV set up. I mounted it before, but I hired it. It was just all set up perfectly. And during like the shroom parts, or no, not, I mean the shroom experiences and trips and all that, probably one of the most realistic shroom trips or psychedelic trips in a movie I've ever seen. first off.
Exactly.
But that part where there's a certain shot, and there's a few of them that are like this, but there's a certain shot where the camera is like following a car down like a road, and then there's trees, and the camera basically tilts like upside down, and you're going down the fucking way upside down. And during that part, bro, I was like fucking I was scared. I felt like I was on a roller coaster, bro. I was literally, for multiple parts during this movie, visually tripping because of the way that I watched it and how it's made. I had a volume all the way up, everything dark, just my big TV covering almost all of my field of view, super stoned and drunk. It was wild, bro. It was wild. Visually, cinematography wise, probably one of the best movies in that sense ever.
Yeah, no, dude. I remember watching in the theater too, and I'm pretty sure you noticed this towards the end. I mean, it actually happens a lot in the movie, which I didn't notice the first time, but towards the end, like when she's like becoming the May Queen, and like you know, the pole dance and the maypole, when they're at the dinner table after, I don't know why. When I was watching the movie, maybe I was just so into it, I didn't notice at first. And then I remember at a certain point, I looked over at Frankie and I was like, am I just tripping? Or I was like, or is the fucking screen like oscillating and breathing like mushrooms? And then if you look at her flowers on her head, it was like, dude, it's so fucking accurate about how it looked. That's why when I left the theater, I felt like I had just taken them, because like visually it was so like, you know, because there are movies that they could do it well where they make the people actually seem how you seem when you trip.
Yeah.
But like visually, I haven't seen too many things that made it like, oh shit, like this is exactly how it looks without being too much.
Yep.
Like this is exactly how things look when you're on mushrooms. Like the way everything was breathing. And then at a certain point I noticed the background, and then it made me start thinking, I was like, how long has this background been moving before I noticed that it was moving, you know? And it fucked me up.
Yeah. Are we gonna go through the movie like from like beginning to end, or no? Just if not, then we'll just keep going. I'm just curious.
So okay, so what do you think? Do you think we should? If we should, the synopsis isn't that long, and if we're gonna do that, I was thinking this time, if we do that I'll just read the synopsis straight through without stopping, and then we'll just talk about it, or we could just skip the synopsis.
It's totally up to you. I mean, there's so much that happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end, though. Like, I'd like to, you know, if we could like
get into
pinpoint, like, little parts. But it's up to you. Totally up to you. Totally. This is your episode.
You know what? Shit. You know what? Let's read the fucking synopsis.
If you want, we can.
Not that long.
Yeah, if you want, it's totally up. Whatever you want to do.
Nah, I mean, we should, just in case for people who haven't seen it, I guess, you know? All right, so I'm going to start out.
Hold on, real quick. I feel like we should start saying, too, and I'll say it now for the podcast, too, but just so you know, too, I feel like we should maybe start saying, like, mentioning in the beginning of the podcast and recommending to people to, like, hey, pause real quick. Go watch that fucking movie. Come back to the podcast. And then this podcast is made to be listened to after enjoying or watching or whatever the fuck we're talking about. You guys, this podcast is not going to be enjoyable unless you've seen the fucking movie. So, all
right, You know what? I mean, if on that note, should we just say fuck it with the synopsis?
Yeah, I mean, people should see it already. I'm just saying, and if anything, maybe as we discuss the movie, let's try to discuss it from the beginning to the end. Maybe, I don't know.
No, I'll keep the synopsis up there so we could keep it in order. Yeah, no, for sure. I actually think that may be a good idea, because that's what I was worried about with Hereditary. I was like, we spend so much time on the synopsis that by the time we get to like discussing other shit, sometimes I feel almost even myself a little fatigued. You know? True. All right, so I mean, if we're gonna do it this way, then we're just gonna get right into it. So the film opens up with a mural and I would love to point this out. I said this in the intro too. The mural is done by an artist named Mu Pan. It's MUPAN, and she's the one who drew the mural in the beginning. And do you want me to get into that mural right now? If so, I could get into this shit right now, bro. The whole movie is in that mural.
Yes, 100%. So I noticed that. I noticed this the first time. I told Monica, this picture right here is gonna, I don't know what it is, but this is the opening shot. Remember I told you about opening shots. The opening shots of this movie are fucking amazing. And I'm gonna let you get into it. I didn't do any research, but I saw that in that first opening painting, that is the whole fucking movie. It has all the characters. It has all the different moments and different things. That is the movie. And it is so wild that and throughout the movie they show these different pieces of art that reference the story. So I have an idea of what I know but I know like 10 times more. So go, brother.
All right. So this is
just go for the first painting. For the first painting.
No, yeah. This is actually going to be like almost like a synopsis of the whole movie. Do you have it pulled up so you can see it?
No, actually, do you?
I do. I think you should pull it up just so you could see what I'm talking about too, because I think it'll.
Yeah,
because dude, I when I was going through it was fucking me up.
Is there titles or something that I could look up so I can find them instantly, or can you send them to me?
Yeah, I can send it to you right now.
Email them to me real quick. Everybody on the podcast, give us 1 second. We'll be right back.
Some of the things I noticed the third time watching it, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't even read about these pictures being
a thing
in there. I just started noticing them. I was like, "Oh shit!" There's like more because I mean, Ari Aster is very like that too. He doesn't talk about it. He kind of refuses. It's kind of like you go figure it out or you don't. It's like he doesn't want to give away his own movie.
It's so funny.
I think is kind of cool.
I saw a few different interviews with him, and he would always just be like, "I don't know. I don't know." He just wouldn't say much.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they asked him if Midsommar had a happy ending, and he was like, "I don't know." So yeah, I have it up now. I have the painting up. So
okay, cool. All right, so let me pull it up so it's big for me. All right, so okay, so we're starting. We're starting on the left. So one of the main things to notice with this painting by Mupon is that it actually, if you look at it, it's split up into winter. Winter is the beginning, obviously the snow, and then what is it? Winter. What comes after winter? Autumn, fall, whatever.
That's before.
I don't know what the
spring.
Fuck.
Spring
winter,
comes after
spring, winter, spring, summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck? Where's fall? Fall should be after summer, but I guess fall would be part of there. But either way, it's split up into fours. And if you notice, this first picture has the death symbol, the skull. And if you look at the girl right there, that's Danny's sister with the tube connected to her. Yep. And the tubes that are connected to her are also going to her parents because both parents died with her. And then those tubes are connected to the skeleton, which is death. And then Danny is also in here because I think she's just loosely affected by it. She's kind of the one in the middle right here, and then she's connected to her whole family. Yeah, that is Danny. Danny is because she's the one in the pink dress. Yeah, so Danny's obviously affected by all this, and those are the tubings, because they died by, if you haven't seen it,
fucking
carbon monoxide poison. Dude, I know. Dude, that was one of the first things when we saw the movie, when they show the sister's face with it duct taped to her face, I was like, oh shit, here we fucking go. Like already, so 20 minutes in,
Which, I think I know your answer, but which scene would you think, this is a scene that's comparative to the beheading scene in Hereditary. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Those are very similar scenes. I don't know.
Yeah. This is, and it's very similar. Extreme tragedy? Like tragedy that neither you or I feel like can't even imagine.
Or like walking up on your son's wedding and seeing your husband sucking his dick.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, dude. That's like all his movies. And Ari Aster actually mentioned. I don't know if you saw this. He mentioned that like in this movie, because he says it's a breakup film as well. That he's the character of Danny, pretty much,
Oh, yeah, I want to go in on who, if I'm Danny or not, by the way, but later.
All right, for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, it starts out with winter. And if you notice that, this scene with them dying, if you notice right when this mural opens at the beginning, it opens up on the snow, which is that very beginning scene.
So can I go make a stab at this next part, right? So this next part is Christian and Danny. And I'm picturing this, and then the guy who's on the tree is Christian's homie, who is part of the family, right?
Yeah, Pell.
Yeah, him, that guy. So he's up there, kind of writing the story and kind of playing puppet master and control.
So actually, he's up there sketching. He's sketching Danny. Remember, he draws Danny.
Yeah,
he draws Danny twice.
Okay.
He draws her on her birthday. And he says he only draws people on their birthday, and then he draws her when she becomes the May Queen, which is kind of like symbolizing her new birth into the family. Yeah. And then this is,
Ooh.
you're right, though. That is Christian
Okay.
trying to console her, but
Yeah.
Christian is a fucking asshole and doesn't know
Hol-
what to do, you know?
I don't know if Christian's an asshole though. I don't know if he is. I think he's a good guy.
Okay, so in the beginning, before her family dies, I think the case could be made that yes, maybe Danny leans too heavily on him. But once the extreme tragedy happens, I don't know, man.
I think
you either shit or get off the pot. You know,
I think that he's stuck in this situation where he's with this girl he likes. He cares about her. She's a good girl. She's a good person. He really cares about her. And then all of a sudden it becomes this crazy fucking situation that he wasn't necessarily prepared for. He has other things he wants to focus on. Blah, blah, blah. But because he wants to be a good guy or make the idea that he's a good guy, he stays with her and he does what he can. But at the same time, even in this scene right here, this is a wild scene right here where she's begging him to stay. Basically, she trips on why he's fucking like why he's going to Midsommar Festival or whatever, and then he tells her like, hey, it is what it is, blah blah blah, and he's basically like, maybe I should just. He's like, I'm just gonna go. Look at that. He's like, and then she's like, no, and then it comes from this point of her checking him. And like, why, what? And then to a point where she's like, no, I'm glad you went. Come sit down with me. It's okay. So it's like, it's almost like she's the bad guy from the beginning because she's holding on and keeping him. And I don't know. I don't necessarily say that that's 100% the thing. But as I watched it, I almost felt bad for him because he's trying to be a good guy, but he's just, it's not that he's a bad guy. He's just he has other shit he wants to focus on. And then all of a sudden this tragedy hits and he's kind of stuck in the situation.
Ari Aster actually talked about this too, that, that the story is definitely written where Danny is our lead and she's the character we're rooting for in the end. Mm-hmm. But he does say in an interview though there is a case to be made for Christian as well, and I think you're hitting on it. Mm-hmm. Like he is, but I would say though Christian's problem though, even though he thinks he's trying to be a good guy, is he's maybe his biggest fault. Maybe he's not, because even Ari Aster said this. Like he's not your traditional bad guy where he's like evil or anything. Mm-hmm. It's almost like though his fault though is he's a coward, and instead of walking away and leaving this, he decides to drag her on and like hold on to her, which I know she wants to be held on to by him, but at the same time he's not willing to be there fully, so it's like then he should just leave her. So in a way he Makes is sense. Bad because, but in a way he's not like your traditional bad guy. No, asshole, he's not. He's a pussy, he doesn't know. Instead of just fucking walking away like a man and just being like, all right, I can't do this. It's like, okay, I'm just going to hold on.
That's true.
To you, even though I can't be there fully for you. Hold on. Let me check it.
There you
go. No, dude. I definitely think that's interesting because you're the first person that's seen it that has like kind of, gotten that. Because the first time, I saw it, I definitely didn't see it at all. And I mean, I still don't because, like I said, I think the biggest problem is that he's a coward, and the best thing he could have done is just leave her alone. But at the same time, though, how do you leave someone alone in that state,
Ask Frankie, who's the bad guy and who's the good guy?
Oh, Frankie definitely knows. Frankie definitely would say Christian's the bad guy.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. Frankie just walked in right now to hit the ball, and she said she hates Christian.
He's just a young man caught up in a bad situation. She's remember the last podcast, she's like crawling on the ground. I have a video of her. I don't know if I told you. There's a part of the podcast is she's crawling and she grabs something like that. It's when you went to the restroom. I think you went to the restroom and she crawled in like this on the ground and like, but I showed up on the camera. It's funny.
You gotta send it to me.
Yeah.
No, dude. I definitely can see your side though, because honestly, dude, like, I mean, it's true, but I mean, see, I think the problem though lies is that he was feeling this way before her family died and he should have left then, but I mean, I get it though. After her family dies, I mean, so then I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Imagine you're with a girl, right? And then you're just kind of, you like her. You're not like in love. You really do like her genuinely. And then you're thinking about ending things. You know, you're not too sure. You're on the fence, whatever. You probably are, but not right away. You're thinking about it. Then all of a sudden, her whole fucking family gets killed in a murder-suicide. You would be the asshole to leave.
No, yeah.
At that point, you leave her alone with no family. You say, hey, you know, that's the asshole thing to do. If you don't, you know what I'm saying?
No, of course. But in the beginning, though, when she's calling him, the friend Mark does say, "You've been talking about ending this for months," you know. So it's not like.
But that doesn't. If he does end it though, if he does end it in that moment, is he a bad guy? He's not a bad guy.
Oh no,
you know,
no.
But I get what you're saying because he prolongs the relationship. He's not a man about it. He's the bad guy, right?
Yeah, and it's just. Okay, so before her family dies, I would say he's not fully a bad guy, but he probably should have ended it. And then, like you said, though, after the family dies, he's kind of stuck. But, you know, I mean, also, though, after the family dies, like, he doesn't... I don't know. He sticks around, but he's still not fully around, though, you know? He still lies to her about going to Sweden. He still lies about, you know, this. He still fucks that chick in the end.
He still said, whoa. He still fucks that chick at the end. He gets mentally raped and physically, basically. Hold on. We'll get into that. I don't think he is wrong for fucking her. I think he was mentally fucking abused and manipulated and mind controlled into fucking her. I feel like that was a rape scene.
You had to throw in Mike there.
Yeah.
No, for sure. When it happens, for sure. Yeah. But when they first get there, from the very beginning, he's interested.
So let me.
She kicks him, and then He's like, "Oh, can anybody join?" And he goes to join. He's already interested from the very beginning, which isn't to say that makes him a bad guy. But he was already thinking that long before he gets.
So do you think he would have fucked
I would agree.
her?
It is a rape.
Do you think he would have fucked her without being on drugs and this whole mind manipulation he's gone through? I don't think he would have. I don't think he wanted to. I think he was afraid to. I don't think he wanted to. He was afraid at the dinner. He was like, he's asking the what's going on, and he gets slapped in the face. So, like, I think he was afraid. I don't think he's the bad guy at all. Almost at all, bro. I think if anything, he's a young man who has whatever goals, dreams, aspirations, and he's focused on one thing, and he gets tossed into this story and becomes the protagonist, whatever the bad guy, and
the antagonist.
And in a sense, the movie kind of mind controls you into believing he's the bad guy because of the way that it's made. And at the end, when he's murdered and killed, you kind of feel like it's a good thing. But he really never did anything wrong. The movie not only mind controls Danny, it mind controls you as the watcher.
I mean, you know, it is an interesting point of view, though, because, dude, I do agree. There are some things to be said for Christian trying to stick around and trying to stay there for her. But
he's not necessarily the good guy, but he's not the bad guy. IMO.
I guess just the way, no, you're right, though. I could say that, you know, you can look at it as a good, that Danny's good, he's bad, but you can also look at it as neither of them are good or bad. This is just a bad situation, you know, for anybody in any fucking sense, no matter how close you are with somebody.
I think this is the movie kind of perfectly exemplifies really terrible, tragic grief coupled with insecurity and miscommunication and loneliness, and
definitely loneliness, and not having a place. You know, I think
not having a home.
And I think it's said well towards the end, or it's like maybe in the middle when Pell is it Pell or Pelly? I can't remember. Pelly?
I don't know. Pele?
Ah, shit. Pele? No. I don't think it's Pele. It's like Pelly or something. But when he asked Danny, he says, "Does Christian? Do you feel held by him? Does he feel like home? You know?" Which I think is really hits to a lot of the themes in this movie.
Yes.
Which is like, you know, like she's looking for, because she's lost her whole family. So I mean, in a way, it is. In a sense, you're right. In a sense, it is unfair of her because she lost her family that she's trying to now find it in Christian, when Christian he's not equipped to be that, you know?
I don't necessarily think I don't think she's wrong for it. I think she's just confused and
No,
lost,
I don't think
know?
she's I don't think she's wrong for it. But I could see though where the case could be made that she's leaning on him too heavily. But at the same time, it's like, who else does she have to lean on at this point? And he's sticking. But that's also why I think he could be the bad guy, because he's sticking around and saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna stay here," but he's not being fully there.
There's a lot of shit he does, and we're going off on this Christian identity thing, but still, there's a lot of shit he does throughout the movie that only a good boyfriend would do. Like when they stop and they start doing the mushroom, she's like, I'm good, and he's like, okay, I'm not gonna do it either. And then he's like, he tells them, oh, no. But then you know what he does say? He said, maybe you guys should wait too. You guys want to wait for us too? That was kind of, I think, him pushing her to do it right away. He's not necessarily, he has a lot of flaws. And that's kind of one of the things I saw, right? He was like, I'm not going to do it. But I think he kind of knew. And I think by him telling his friends, you guys want to wait for us too? He knew Danny was going to be like, no, let's just do it now. Whatever. Who knows? But yeah. So go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was I still have the painting up. I don't know if you want to.
Finish. No. Yeah. We're gonna keep. Yeah. We're gonna keep going into it. But I just want to say one more thing. We are talking about, because I feel like this was gonna be a big talking point no matter what about Christian and Danny, and about antagonist versus protagonist. But I mean, I would say though, Christian does fuck up a lot though. He forgets her birthday. True. Which is an asshole thing to do. And then he also, when she finds out about Sweden, even though he knows he's going. He still lies to her in front of his friends, like, oh, I'm just thinking about going. It's not official yet, even though it is already official at this point. He has tickets. He knows he's going, and it's just like little things like that. That's why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't say necessarily he's a bad guy, but because of his cowardness, it makes him do shitty things because he's just a pussy about it, instead of being upfront, which maybe Danny would be super upset and hurt by. She would at least know where she stands. Instead, she's trying to lean on this guy who's saying he's there, but he's not fully there. True. You know what I mean? Yep. I don't know.
I feel you. No, I totally feel it. Yeah, I get it.
100%. But I get what you're saying too. Yeah. And then also, so in that part where he's trying to console her in the painting, at the top, I told you, Pelly is like drawing her, drawing the situation, like you said. And in a way, like you said, he's kind of orchestrating this whole thing in a way, And then, okay, so the next part that we see is Paley leading them into rural Sweden, into this pagan community. What is it? The Hardaga. Yeah, the Hardaga. And then so we see him leading there. And then we also see, though, if you look at the swords.
We should say that too, that all the characters in the movie are also depicted in the painting as well with them. Like
there's Josh, Mark, and Paley, and then there's Christian, Danny, and then what's his name is in front, Paley, and he's like, it looks like he's playing a flute, like kind of like the Pied Piper in a way, like leading them, and there's music coming out, and he's leading them into this different land. And then I like how they have the little sun, which is almost like the little sun right here where they're walking through, which is kind of like almost like I told Frankie when I was looking at this, that sun reminds me of like the little installation they used to have when you walked in Coachella, when you first walked in. Oh yeah. And they had that there. Yeah. And I remember we used to take acid by it when we first walked in, and like that's what it reminded me of. But also, if you look above, though, there's the cliff, and the cliff shows the two people who jump off for that ceremony who kill themselves, and they have wings like angels. Yeah. So that shows what happens there. And then we also see the cult. We see Harga. I don't want to say cult because when I was reading about it, he kind of steers away from that too. I guess commune.
Technically, it's not. I think a cult has to have a leader, and that's kind of what makes it a cult. Yeah.
Yeah, so then there's the commune, and then there's the bear right there, the bear who we know what happens at the end with the bear. And then there's the death playing the music, which if you remember when they dance around the maypole, that's what they say it represents, that death had come, and they had a dance competition where everybody danced because they were in a frenzy until they were dead. So that's what they do, and you see the death playing the music and everybody dancing together. And then you see the table, which is later. I mean, a lot of this is like, just like shit that we see in the movie. Yeah. But then, dude, this is the most interesting part that I didn't pick up on. I actually read this after. Is the sun. the smile that the son has, if you put that up, you know what? Let me just send it to you, actually. Hold on 1 second. I don't even have to tell you because you'll see it right when you open it. I saw it right away.
The smile? What is it, the Cheshire Cat? Oh, shit.
The smile is the very end. That's the end of the painting, and that's also the end of the movie. Danny's smile is exactly the same smile as the son. And then it starts out with the death, it starts out with the death of her family, the painting, and then it moves on to her smiling because that's at the end when she's free. And it's, summer now. And it's very, it's crazy. It's pretty crazy. Dude, I was tripping out when I saw the son because I was like, dude, that is her exact smile. Like it looks exactly like her. You know what I mean? And like that was done on purpose, like because that's her at the end. She's finally happy. She's finally free. It's summer. It just has so much meaning behind it, So
yeah, this is why people say it's a happy ending, is because of the way it ended, and the beauty and the vibe, if anything, of the ending. But that is wild. It almost looks like an exact replica of the smile in a way.
Yeah, I was wondering
the nose and everything kind of.
Yeah, I was wondering if the drawing was... I think the painting was done before the movie, though. So I was wondering if the painting... I'm not 100% sure, though.
Oh, so really? The painting was done before the movie?
Yeah, I believe it was done from the script, but I could be wrong, though.
Okay.
But yeah, because I was wondering...
We got to have Sue hit us up and let us know. Or what's the person?
Mupon.
Moo, hit us up.
No. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I would be interested to know that because you're right. It looks so similar that it would make sense that it was painted after to look like Danny, but it would also be kind of cool if it was painted before, and she's just such a good actress that she was able to make that exact face,
Where did you read that it was connected? Like, is it for sure?
So, it's never been confirmed, but I was looking up things about the painting, and that's like a common thing that people have noticed that, and because it does follow the movie, and if it starts out with the death, and that's when she's distraught and sad, and then and if you really actually watch the movie, besides little fake smiles, there's actually not really one time in the movie she ever actually has a legit smile until the very end.
I think she's like when she's dancing, or I was watching for her smiling, and she gives like a fake one in a conversation, but then when she's like dancing around the maypole, she smiles during that part. But that's kind of just she's not even too sure. She smiles and then she's sad. She smiles and then she's sad.
Yeah, that part's crazy too when they're dancing. But I don't think it's been confirmed by Ari Aster, but that's just because he doesn't really seem to confirm things, No, even when I read interviews where people say like what it is, he'll say, "Oh, like that's a good observation." Like I feel like he's agreeing with it, but he's not going to tell you that's what it is, But I think, dude, from looking at it, dude, and I've been looking at it for a while, and I looked at it before I watched it these last 2 times, and I'm at least in my mind, I'm 100% sure that that's what that's supposed to be.
Sense.
And it makes sense. It's the end of the movie. It's the end of the picture. It makes a lot of sense to me,
Yeah.
So
that's a beautiful opening shot. A painting that tells the whole movie that you really wouldn't even notice. I love that about Ari Aster's movies in general, is that there's so many crazy things that you just wouldn't notice unless you're looking. So it's like, his movies seem like you could enjoy them multiple times for multiple different reasons, kind of.
Dude, yeah, that's why I liked Hereditary. It's like you watch it. I feel like the first time you watch his movies, it's hard to notice everything because the movies are so batshit crazy that you have to go back. And then when you go back, you realize, oh shit, this isn't batshit crazy at all. It's very planned out. It's very orchestrated. Oh, yeah. He knows what he's doing, and it's which is why I'm kind of like tempted to call him like one of my favorite directors now, especially going back, because when I saw this the first time, I swear I didn't watch it again until this, because to me it was an all right movie, but I was like, I remember reading all the hype. I was like, I guess I didn't see it, but now rewatching it, I'm like, oh shit, like this motherfucker is like a genius, like just it's just crazy, the way he does it.
I wonder if him and Jordan Peele have ever connected, or I know that they've commented on each other's movies, but they make very similar
There's actually I haven't read the whole thing, but there's actually a whole like little article Jordan Peele wrote about Midsommar, about how much he liked it and like loved it. You know, yeah, he's a big fucking fan of this movie.
That makes sense.
I remember that was one of the reasons too. I was excited because I had been reading Jordan Peele saying like, "Oh shit, this is like just changed the game for horror," you know. And I was like, yeah, so I was excited. That's why when I went into it, I was expecting horror, and I feel like it's not traditional horror, you know.
It's almost like a psychological horror.
Oh, dude, it's all that's why I think it fucked me up when I had stopped smoking, because I was already going through it. Like it was so psychological that at the end I was just like, I was happy for Danny, but at the same time I just kind of wanted to cry. I was like, dude, this shit has been depressing.
The desperation of her in that scene when Christian is trying to leave. And he's like, you know what? It's like he's trying to break up with her basically in that moment. She's like, no, it's okay. It's fine. She goes from testing him about Sweden or whatever. And then to a point where she's like basically begging him to say, she goes from, you don't think you should have told me type of energy to, I think it's great that you're going, no, come sit and talk to me. And it's so funny because when me and Monica were watching it, we were both looking at each other and we were both cringing just as hard because it sounded exactly how I have sounded in the past. And it was like, I told Monica, I was like, I feel weird everywhere. Just like the more she talked, the more it was weird and just reminded me of like low parts of myself.
Oh, dude. Yeah, honestly, I watched it the second time by myself. And then this last Sunday, I watched it again with Frankie while she was here. And it was, Frankie kept looking at me during the movie, like you know, like, you? Yeah, like you, like this is how you used to act, you know, like, because dude, like, yeah, he's a dick, you know, but like you said, dude, he's it's very realistic the way it's portrayed, you know, it's a very realistic.
And there's a lot of shot. Oh shit, I wanted to bring that up to you too because I saw that. That's one of the ones that I saw on my second watching. That I was
that's in her bedroom above her bed. And that's literally the bear and the queen, or like a princess, you know, and which is her, you know, the main queen. And this picture was drawn by John Bauer, who is actually I guess he's one of the influences behind a lot of the paintings and shit. But this is a painting. It wasn't done for the movie. This painting was already a painting, and I'm trying to see if I can see the name of the painting. Oh, it's called. Oh, I don't know how to say that. It's called Stakars Illa Base, which is translate to Poor Little Bear, is what the painting's called.
Okay.
Oh, which is interesting. I didn't know it was called Poor Little Bear, which makes a lot of sense because the bear gets killed and Christian gets burned in it. So Poor Little Bear.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. And actually, dude, there's actually a lot in the beginning. You know what? I'm just going to fucking find it. Might as well. Let's see. This is all in the beginning. These are all little things that hint to what's going on before they even get to Harga. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead. Say what you're saying. I'm looking.
So I believe there's a part towards the end when they're carrying Danny on something, and in the trees, you can see her sister's face.
Yes.
Is that a thing? Do you have a picture of that? I don't know where in my research I saw that. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that because I knew you had all this. So I was like, let me just wait.
Let me send you this one real quick because I already have it queued up, and then I'll get to that right now. Because actually, that was a big talking point that I wanted to bring up because that was something that I had read about and had to look for because I would have never saw it on my own. It's very subtle. Mm-hmm. Also, though, speaking on that, there's also when she does the May Queen dance, the maypole, if you notice, some of the people that come to congratulate her are her mom, her dad, and her sister. She sees them in the Harga.
I know there's one moment where she says "mom," but that was like supposed to be. Yeah, I saw that, but then I thought there was one part where I saw her dad too. I thought there was.
It's all in the Harga. Like she sees them. I think it's right after the maypole dance when she wins and everybody's congratulating her. Yeah, and that's when she sees them. You know, when she's also mid-trip. I'm guessing it's like ayahuasca they're drinking at that point. You know,
dude, that's like another thing I wanted to. So first, they take mushrooms, and then it seems like maybe like some sort of LSD derivative type of shit, maybe, but maybe ayahuasca too. But there's also this shit that they're like trying to that they give them to smell throughout the movie, and I'm wondering
Yeah,
what
and they
that
give him
is.
yeah, they give him that like it looks like I think they say I don't remember if they say strawberries or whatever it is, but they give him that thing to chew on too. Yeah, dude,
There's a bunch of
think
shit.
yeah, when I watched it, I'm wondering how much of the time during the movie they're actually spent tripping and they don't even know that they're kind of under the influence of all these drugs, because from the beginning, from the mushrooms, it doesn't, they take these drinks, they take these shots where they
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that when I take shots now. But like, yeah, dude, it's like psychedelics galore. I feel like for the commune, it's like common nature. It's just what you do. But for them, like, I wonder how much of it they even realize they're being influenced by this. So this picture I just sent you right now is in the beginning, and if you see the flower crowns above Danny's head, which symbolizes she will become the May Queen later on.
Wow. I was wondering. I was looking at this. I was like, "What does this have to do with the movie?" Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, the flower crown is like, it's supposed to be the flower crown above Danny's head because she's gonna be the May Queen. And then there's also, before I show you that picture in the forest, there's one more towards the beginning that's worth noting.
So there's this thing called dragon breath. I think we've talked about it before, and I feel like that might be one of the things. A lot of this shit that they seem like they use. There's one part where a girl blows a bunch of powder into Christian's face, and from that point on, he seems very like just okay with doing whatever, and that's what dragon's breath is supposed to be.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's like the almost like Hell's Bells, kind of, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, similar effect. I believe Hell's Bells is supposed to be, isn't it? That's supposed to be like I don't know how it makes you feel, but I know it's like not venomous, but it can be poisonous, right? If you eat too much, you can get sick or die.
Yeah, I think you eat. But I heard though it's very like, though you don't really have control over yourself when you do it either.
Makes sense.
Wait a minute. Shit. You know what? This one's kind of hard to find a picture of, but I'll just tell you. When actually, you know what? Here we go.
Cool. Let me grab this drink.
Okay, so this actually is gonna have all three that connects it.
Okay.
There's in a party, and then they show it's actually a scarecrow, so you'll see it right now. So look, there's the scarecrow on top of the fridge. There's a scarecrow doll, and then at the end, everybody's stuffed with hay. That's also foreshadowing what they do to them, how they stuff their bodies with hay before they burn them. The scarecrow, you see it, yeah. And you see this scarecrow actually that's a scarecrow from Wizard of Oz, but it almost kind of looks, it's pretty interesting. That was something that I had looked up to. I didn't catch that myself.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Dude. Oh, now, so yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, pretty much like everything that kind of happens is kind of shown way before it happens in weird little ways. The bear and the princess and the May Queen with the flower crown and the scarecrow. And then let me find.
There's a lot of foreshadowing that I noticed even in the dialogue of the movie that is like overlooked. Like there's a part that like in the conversation in the dialogue of the movie, like she says, "What happens when they turn 72?" And he says, and then she just like laughs it off, and the scene continues. Like that was a huge part. It's funny because low key, I think because we've been doing the podcast and I'm trying to like watch movies a little deeper now, that kind of gave that scene away in a way. Right when I saw that we were going to this scene and these two old people were important, I was like, oh, they're 72. They're going to kill them or they're going to die somehow. Like I knew somehow they were going to die because of that. But I think it's because I'm thinking so ahead,
No. And they actually, what's his name actually knew about it, Josh. Because remember they bring it up. He's like, oh, ask the stupid. And he's like, are you serious? We're actually going to we're going to see a real one,
Mm-hmm.
He knew. Yeah, he does, but I don't think he takes it serious, until it actually happens.
Yeah.
But the at the stupa is actually, so I'm looking it up right now. It's denotes a site where ritual cenocide takes place during Nordic prehistoric times.
Cenocide?
Where elderly Yeah, I've never heard of that word. Let me look it up. But it's where elderly people throw themselves or were thrown to their deaths. And they technically tell you what's going to happen if you knew. I mean, I didn't know what that word meant when I saw it, but for people who do know what that word means, there's another, you're already told they're going to die before you even see it. Senicide or geronticide is the killing of the elderly or the abandonment to death. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Wow.
Senicide. I kind of like that word. Sounds kind of dope.
Sounds like some COVID-19 shit.
Some COVID. Okay, yeah. Here I found that picture too. So we're just getting into all this shit. Yeah. See, I kind of like the way we're doing this better, actually.
Yeah, it's probably better. Just go in.
If you haven't seen the movie, ass,
and it's like I think that's probably better in like other type of movies kind of sense, like some with like a basic, like older movies, like Wizard of Oz. We had to do that because we would have fucking not known what to do.
Oh yeah, dude, I couldn't even pay attention during that movie. But dude, I'm okay. So you'll see it. I'll just let you look at it. It takes a second, but you'll see it.
Okay, hold on. It takes me like 40 seconds to get it to where the stream can see it. But we are almost. So yeah, next time we gotta if we have stuff like this, you should send it ahead of time so we can have it all.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. Oh shit.
Yeah, you see that?
Wow.
You see the little tubing too? Like it's just.
Oh, you see the tubing? Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, no, you see her face too. You can see her eyes.
No, yeah. I see. I didn't even see the tubing part.
Yeah, and yeah, dude. It's like very subtle. Like, dude, when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, and I had to go back and look in the movie, and I was like, oh shit. That's crazy. It's so subtle you don't even notice it, And then, like I said, dude, and then after, you see okay, here we go. I found this one too, actually. Might as well just send it to you. This is what we were talking about with her sister, where you see her in Harga. It's right here.
Her sister, huh?
Yeah, see, she's right behind her when she's crowned the May Queen. Do you see her? It's circled.
How the fuck? How would anybody notice that? That's what's so crazy to me. It's like nobody's gonna notice this shit.
I actually was reading that about him. That's what he said. He says that normally that's what happens is he writes these scripts, and then he said by the time he's actually into filming that he's kind of sick of the script and over it. So he spends so much time on the cinematography and the way it looks and feels that he almost forgets about the script. Like, not forgets about it because he obviously sticks to the script. But I think that's why he's able to put so much. He's like, by the time the script's already been written, so it's like I know what I'm doing. So now I'm just focused on the way it looks. So he's able to put all these hidden little meanings and messages and shit in there.
That's pretty so crazy, dude. Crazy, yeah. I think I've thought about that throughout this movie too. Like, damn, how much, like in Hereditary or just in general, it's just that like creating a movie takes so fucking long. Like, I'm almost envious of those guys because they can put aside a few years, multiple years of their lives to create one piece of art, and like that's dedication. That's crazy,
dude. I know. That's what I think too. Like, you have to have focus to just be able to focus on this, because they're doing it probably every day, like 12 hours a day, every day, just focused on this fucking movie,
Yeah.
And that, but it must be rewarding when it comes out the way you want it to,
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so there's actually a thing I wanted to bring up because you were actually talking about dialogue and things that are said. There's actually, I didn't notice this till I watched it again. In the beginning, when they actually first get to Harga and they're meeting the elders, the elder comes and he says hi to all the guys. He says hi and introduces himself to the guys. And he introduces himself to Danny last. And to Danny, he says, welcome home. That's the only person he says welcome home to. Everybody else he says hi to. And I was like, oh, shit, there's more foreshadowing, because that ends up being her home, There's also, so this I can't find pictures of, and this honestly I didn't see on any website, so it's not really confirmed, but I saw it when I watched it this third time, is when they're in the sleeping quarters, where everything's painted on the walls. There is, I'm trying to see if I can find it. I don't think I'm going to because I just saw it. Yeah. But there's actually a picture on the back when they first come in of the dude's back being skinned open, and you see him hanging, and that's Colin later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we see him later, but that's actually in the background, the skinned back, which is like I never saw that, and I didn't see that on any websites, so I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but I noticed it on the third time I watched it, and I wrote it down real quick. But it's like a very brief shot, but you see the back skinned on the back, and it looks crazy because it's exactly what happens later. Yeah. And then also they bring it up too when the kids are playing, and he asks, Colin's actually the one who asks too. He says, "What are they playing?" And they say, "Skin the Fool." And Colin is the one who gets skinned later. Wow. So, dude, yeah, more foreshadowing. Dude, there's just so much fucking foreshadowing in it. It's crazy. And then,
if we're talking about dialogue too, I think it's super worth noting that in the beginning of the movie, a lot of the scenes that Christian has dialogue in, he's either in a mirror or over the phone. And it's very, if you notice, there's a bunch of shots in the beginning where he's in the mirror and or other people are in the mirror. And I think it's,
there is a lot of mirror.
Yeah. Conversations, and that helps to convey like distance, like disconnection almost. Like it's wild. And it's a wild way of a scene.
Yeah, no. It is.
Wild way of a scene.
Really, yeah, wild way of this. No, dude, I actually think it's a really good scene when they show her talking. It's when they're having a conversation and she's talking and then you only see him through the mirror talking back to her. So I know. Yeah, there is a lot of mirror
in the scene where he's telling his friends that he invited her, and when he goes to the door and he's like, "Oh, just so you guys know, I invited Yanni, but she's not gonna go. And they're just like, and all you do is see their reaction, and he's in the mirror. It's kind of wild.
I wonder if there's a reason for the. I mean, there has to be. I bet. I don't know what it is, but I wonder if there is a reason though for the mirror.
From what I would get, and I think I heard somebody say it, or when I watched or listened to a few things, that it's supposed to convey distance and disconnection, kind of in a sense that's why it's kind of like it's used.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
There's also, and then him over the phone too, how like in the beginning shot, he's just on the phone only. He's just, and in that sense, he doesn't feel like a main character. He feels like somebody who's just not really going to be a part of this movie, because that whole scene is just her talking and you never go to him.
No, that makes a lot of sense because that is like, I feel like one of his biggest faults is that he's distant. So that is actually an interesting way to show that.
Yeah, they introduce him with all these weird disconnected ways of showing him. Also, I don't know if you noticed what's his name, Pele, or what's his name, Lepe or Lape, Pele or some shit. That's he is mind fucking her from the moment he meets her. He like purposely brings up family and I just wanted to say I apologize, this and that. I wanted to say my condolences or whatever about your family. He brings it up, and the way he brings it up and how he talks about it, is like a mind fuck in and of itself. And then later on, when she sees the old people die, she goes and she's basically ready to leave, and he sits down and convinces her to stay in this weird mindfuck way. And it's weird because he's like, "Don't worry, I know it's your family." And she's like, No, it's not my family, Brad. Like, what the fuck? You guys are killing old people. And he's like, No. My family died too. And my family. And she's almost like, No, that's not it. And then he convinces her that that's what it is. And that's kind of like him fucking mind fucking her into staying.
Yeah, no, he definitely does things. Just like I said, when he brings up Christian, he's like, "Do you feel held by Christian?" And then he also gives her a birthday present way before Christian even knows it's her birthday. He's like, he's definitely orchestrating.
And then when she says Christian forgot, he's like, "Oh," he did. Oh.
Yeah, and we already know he knows he forgot.
Yeah, he knows he forgot.
One thing I would like to clarify, just because I don't want to get called out by people. Yeah. He's the bad guy, yeah. But I guess the skin the fool. I guess people do say that. Okay, so I mean, I could see it in that way because they do cut open Colin, but they're saying that the skin the fool game actually refers to Mark, because Mark is skinned and stuffed with hay, and then he's wearing a jester hat at the end, like the fool, which makes a lot of sense too,
Makes sense.
So also if we were talking about still the building that they sleep in, they also have a picture on the wall of Christian having sex with the girl, and there's like two girls standing around him, similar to the ceremony that happens at the end.
Isn't there like a quilt or something that shows that whole thing?
So that's yes, let's find that too. That's the quilt where it shows that she that she cuts off her pubes and puts it in his food, and then she
does she bleed or pee?
She bleeds her menstrual blood into his drink. If you notice too, at that scene when they drinks, his drink is slightly redder than the girls, than everybody else's. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't notice that.
Wait, let me find this shit. Midsommar quilt pubes.
Midsommar quilt pubes. Just Google that. It'll pop right up.
Nah, why don't they don't fucking have the... Let's see, Midsommar love ritual. Let's see. Because she leaves the love rune under his bed, and she does like that whole... Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, perfect. All right, I'll send it right now. Dude, God. I know it's disgusting.
And I'm definitely glad I didn't watch this movie with Victoria. I'll just say that. Thank you for telling me that.
Dude, I know when you asked me. Hey, funny thing is, that's how Frankie got me with the pubes and the.
Got him.
Did you get the picture?
Yeah,
you got it right. Yeah. So you already seen that.
Oh my God! Can I even show this on YouTube? I don't think I can show this on YouTube.
Oh, because of the girl?
I could probably show it. What are they gonna do? Sue me?
And then, yeah, I know. I don't. It's just a drawing of a girl
menstrual.
bleeding in a cup. Yeah, of a menstrual. Wait, let's see. I want to find the picture of the drink too, because I didn't honestly notice it until I had read about it. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. It's very subtle, but you'll see it right now.
Are you Googling this? How are you finding these pictures? Just Google?
I'm Googling them as we go. I got my shit open and ready.
Good shit.
But look, you can see it very subtly. His drink is more orange or reddish than everybody else's.
Oh my fucking God. That makes me want to throw up. Dude, it's so subtle though. It's so
and then
subtle.
You remember when he finds a pube in his food, because they kind of make a deal of it. You know, remember Mark's like, is that a pube in your food, you know?
Yeah, no, I remember that. I definitely remember that. Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the whole ritual. And in the beginning of the ritual, she had put the love rune under his bed. And then you're right, though. He is under a spell, because if you look at that quilt, the very last picture of the quilt is his eyes looking like our mind control symbol, you know? Yes. And it's like, yeah, he's under control. So you are right, in a way, in a sense.
That's a rape. Kind of a rape. He was raped. And I think let me say this, bro. Imagine this movie, but Danny is a boy and Christian is a girl. This movie is not the same movie. It's not as highly regarded. People talk shit. It's controversial. It's a rape movie. If Christian was a girl and this man spiritually put her under a spell, and all these men were above her as she was under a spell walking in, and a man went and grabbed her and walked her up to him, and he fucking fucked her while she was barely awake, it would be fucking controversial. It'd be a completely different movie. I think that's fair to say.
I can see that. Hey, I can see that.
And that just shows you the bias. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I think it is what it is, but it's just kind of funny. You know?
No, yeah. I mean, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, and you see his eyes in that picture too, it's true. It is like he was under a spell, you know, when it happened. I mean,
and under drugs that he was like kind of mind fucked into taking in a way too, which it not necessarily even needs to be like a supernatural spell kind of thing. I think he was kind of mind fucked into doing it.
Yeah. No, definitely. And then let's see if there's any. Look at
this. Do you think the movie would be different though if it was just the genders were switched? Could it be the same movie?
No, definitely not. No. I don't think so.
It'd be different.
You're right. It would come off a way different way if the role reversed and Danny was the jerk and he was the sad one. You know.
Mm-hmm. Damn, I never thought of that. That's true.
Yeah, no, you're right. That would definitely come off a lot different.
Yeah. That scene, imagine a bunch of naked dudes. They're all busting a nut at the same time.
Dude, okay, so dude, the first time I saw that scene in the movies, I was like, oh shit. Especially because like they make the noises with her too, and like,
bro, it's so funny.
And she's pushing him.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, I forgot about that. She's pushing him. Oh yeah, she's pushing him to thrust. Yeah, oh dude. My god, bro! When that part when he first starts fucking her or whatever, and then the girl like she like reaches up and the girl comes down and she starts singing. Oh, yeah. And he's fucking, and he's just like he's like what the fuck?
Hey, real shit though. Okay, so let's say let's say you were single and you went into this and all these. I probably wouldn't stop if I was single and a bunch of chicks were in there and they were singing to me. I'd be like, let's get it.
His face, bro. If you watch it back, the second she starts singing, he's like, so like, what the fuck is going on? I started laughing both times I saw that part because it's so. She's like, oh, and then he's just so fucking like, what the fuck? And at that moment, I laughed, and then right after that, I told Monica, this man is having an acid trip of a lifetime. I don't know. Whatever trip he's on, I don't know. That might be life right there. I don't know.
No, dude. Exactly, dude. But you're right, though. Actually, no, now that you're bringing up all these points, you are right, though. Because that whole scene, like, I guess when I saw it, I took it as, like, he was a dick and going to do it anyway. Oh. But you're right, though. The faces he makes, though, while it's happening.
He's not.
Yeah, he's not fully there. He's like, what am I doing? What the fuck is going on? Mm-hmm. Why am I still doing this? Because then the second after he comes, he's like, oh shit, I need to get the fuck out of here.
He runs.
Yeah, with his bloody pee-pee.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you notice,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, this girl has to be like what, 16? By the way,
no, yeah, she is. This was like her first period, So she might even be younger, like 15, So she's young, yeah, for sure.
And then what's another thing I want to say too about her is when you watch, in certain scenes, she looks almost totally different. There's a certain part where she's like seductively pulling him away from the table. She's like, "Come on, big boy." She's like, and she looks seductive, bro. She looks sexy, like she looks. Like seductive. She looks like a seductive woman. And then right when he was about to fuck her, she's like looking up at him like, oh. And it's wild. Like the way that actress, whoever she was, did a great job of depicting different scenarios because she looked sexually seductive like a fucking sexy woman in one scene and then a little fucking innocent child in another. And it was fucking wild. It was like perfectly done. But what is it?
Yeah, dude. No, dude, this is the painting right before he has sex with her when they sit him down and remember the lady's talking to him about like having sex. This is the picture he's staring at that's right in front of him, the bear that's on fire, which is gonna be him pretty soon after he fucks his bitch. So that's just another interesting thing that they show before it happens. But
wow,
yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. I honestly think that we might have went through a lot of the like main Easter eggs I have, but I would like to say this is one thing I didn't think about. I actually read it today and in an interview, and something that I never noticed is that so the Harga is a pagan cult. Obviously, they don't believe in Jesus, shit like that. And Christian's name is Christian, and he's the he's the anti Harga, and so it's very interesting that he did that. Actually in the interview they brought it up, and Ari Aster said that there was multiple meanings to the Christian name. So I don't know what else is in there, but he said there's multiple meanings about there's other things going on there too, but he didn't say what it was. But that is like a really interesting one. I never thought about that. Like pagan cult, Christian's the bad guy. It's like Christianity, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
100%. It's wild, bro. Yeah. The movie is like it straggles this very fine line of pretentious douchebag movie and amazing artistic piece of art, amazing deep piece of art. And I think it does it so well that it's up to you how you want to depict the movie. If you want to depict the movie as a beautiful piece of art, you can. If you want to look at it as a pretentious piece of garbage with a shitty ending, you can. And it makes sense. It's fine. You depict it however way you want it. That's the best pieces of art to me. Is like when it's so open. It's like the best music you can be felt by a little random little boy in Tokyo that can be felt by a fucking cholo in LA. You know what I mean? Like that is the best piece of art where it connects to the individual and the soul. And this is one that can do that.
No, I completely agree. And what was I going to say about what you were saying? No, I really completely agree with that too. And that's why I kind of like that he doesn't give away things. Cause I mean, I think it's kind of, I mean, a lot of artists do it, but then a lot of artists don't. Like, I think it kind of cheapens it when when you tell me what it means. Like if it's like, you know, like there's Radiohead songs on Kid A. I have no idea what the fuck they actually mean, but the meaning to me is different than probably the meaning to you or to Frankie or to somebody else. And I think that's cool. And it would probably cheapen it if Tom York came out and said, no, it's not about that. It's about this, you know? So I like when artists do keep that a secret, because it's true. Like the best art is the art that can be interpreted by somebody one way and by somebody another way. Because if you're giving them the answer, then is it really that artistic? It's just, I mean, not that it can't be artistic still, but you know what I mean? Like if it's open to interpretation, that takes it on a whole nother level of artistry,
sure.
You know?
Exactly. And have you ever seen, it reminds me of, have you ever seen that video of John Lennon confronting this kid who like breaks into his property? Some kid breaks into his house or his property, and I think, from my understanding, he has his security. He's like, no, bring that kid over here. Let me talk to him. Like, and he was just some crazy whacked out acid kid who was like thinking John Lennon was Jesus Christ, and he was trying to talk to him through his album. And John Lennon was like, he talked to him. He said, what are you talking about? He told him like, this is just words. It's just things we said. It's like, you know, you take it and you believe what you want with it. He said, and this is super paraphrasing. Look up the video, but and the look on the guy's face was almost like his whole. It was like his dreams were shattered, but also he was like, oh yeah, I get it. You know, like he understood though at the same time, and it's kind of like I think of that when we talk about this, like it's just art. It's kind of like you do whatever you want with it.
It's kind of like Helter Skelter and how they were saying that. I mean, obviously, we debunked this whole myth in the first.
Yes,
but you know, it's just like how people say, you know, like Charles Manson did take even though that, you know, it is a myth that, you know, that's the reason he did the killings. He did really think though that this song was about that, you know, which is interesting because I don't think Helter Skelter is about that at all, you know. So. But yeah, dude, that's great, especially because that was a song written by John Lennon, you know. So I definitely have to check out the video. I've never even
is Helter Skelter by John Lennon before Janis Joplin? She was the original, right?
Nah, I think Helter Skelter
original John Lennon. Am I tripping?
Yeah, the original, because it was on the White Album. The original. Is,
of course. And then the only words are Helter Skelter, right? The whole song?
No, it's let me see. Here we go.
What am I so confused about? Maybe Janis Joplin does a version where all she says is Helter Skelter, though?
No, that Helter Skelter is a hook, but then remember it goes, when I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the hill.
But that's all they say, though. That's the only lyrics.
No, in the beginning, it starts out with, even though I may not be singing, it moving along, I'm just trying to, if I get to the bottom of the, and they just imagine it, what the fuck?
I feel like there's only like 8 lines in the whole song, though.
I don't know. Are you sure you're not thinking about She's So Heavy?
No, Helter Skelter. Am I?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I'm looking up the lyrics right now, and there's definitely more lyrics.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
I haven't heard this song in a long fucking time, but
somebody in the comments to probably bring up what I'm trying to bring up. But I feel like there was a Janis Joplin version where she only repeated the hook, and like it was amazing. And people kind of took it for what it was or whatever.
Look at on Yahoo. Isn't there a cover by Janis Joplin of Helter Skelter? I seem to remember hearing it, but I can't find it anywhere. If someone could point me to the right place. Somebody said Janis Joplin never sang Helter Skelter, but this chick from the chick from across the universe who plays Janis Joplin sings Helter Skelter.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and they do. And she only says Helter Skelter. Remember in Across the Universe, they have the part and they just show her like her hair's going crazy.
Is that what it is then? Okay, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. We figured it out.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Internet is amazing, bro.
Dude, I know it's so fucking fast. It's crazy.
Bro, you know this is like being a superhuman that we can do this. The fact that at all the knowledge we want in the whole universe is right here in our hand, that makes us a fucking symbiotic robot. You know that?
No, dude, I've heard that, people say, dude, I actually, I don't know if you watched this. I don't listen to it. Adam's been trying to get me to listen to it forever, and I want to. It's called Dissect, and it's a podcast, and they do an album a season. So they did To Pimp a Butterfly. They've done Blonde by Frank Ocean.
3005.
Pretty much, yeah, they're doing because of the internet right now. And one of the first episodes, I didn't watch it, but I read, is they were talking about a quote by Gambino where he was talking about the internet and that the internet for us is the new Big Bang. He's like, we had the Big Bang that created everything in the universe. He's like, but when we created the internet, we created a whole new Big Bang. It's pretty much like, because it's true. The internet is literally a universe that was created by humans, and that is, you can never find the end of the universe. Like you can never find the end of the internet. Google only shows what I think they say it's like 9% of what's or 10% of what's actually on the internet. So it's like you can never, and it's constantly expanding. So in a sense, the internet is like the universe, the human created universe. Pretty wild.
What the fuck? That's just so crazy to me, bro. That's so crazy. And how far are we away? Look at this us having a phone. This is like, okay, this is we can pick this up and move it. The relationship we have with the internet is like the connection is whack. We have a shitty fucking 56K connection to the internet. But imagine when we can fucking implant this shit in our brain and then it connects with our brain. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that is the future.
That's not too far off.
No, you know about Neuro Link, right?
Nah.
Holy.
What is that?
So Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan's podcast maybe 12 months ago and talked about Neuralink. And Neuralink is basically a chip that they've already implanted it in pigs. It's supposed to be in humans within the next couple years, but it's a chip that will be installed in your brain. And according to what Elon Musk said, is that eventually, and then the first things they're working on is curing cognitive disabilities. So, autism and crazy mental issues.
Yeah, like brain diseases.
Brain diseases. So that's what they're focusing on first, is they're going to fix them. So people who are blind will be able to see. People who are deaf will be able to hear. People who have, all these different mental or brain diseases will be healed in a sense. People who are paraplegic will be able to walk. And this is a legitimate thing that is legitimately going to happen. That's the first thing they're focusing on, is trying to fix diseases or mental diseases.
I mean, dude, I believe that, because, dude, they've already been able to give people who are deaf back their hearing, and I think I'm not sure about people that are blind their sight, but I think there's something like that. Been able to, yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it's in that sense, but that's crazy. I can see that.
Yeah. So it's a trip, bro. If you look, I'm telling you, if any Joe Rogan podcast I could ever recommend, it'd be the first Elon Musk one. The first one. And the second one too, but.
So I mean, I feel like a problem quickly arises there, though. Like, I mean, look how many computer hackers there are. So if you had something like that in your brain, how easy would it be to hack into something like that?
So I didn't even get into everything that it can and will do. He talks about how eventually we're going to be able to communicate without speaking, because we'll be able to basically telepathically communicate with our Neuralinks. He's saying that this is it will happen. It's going to happen. Yeah. So and what does that do to us as humans psychologically when we don't have to talk anymore?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, that's an interesting thought, because I think I don't remember, it was the Father John one of our podcasts, I think we talked a lot about language and about how language is such a trippy thing. So like if honestly you were able to Because in my mind, if you're able to communicate through a neural link like that, and you don't technically have to use words, then I can think of a picture. So can I communicate pictures to you then too? So we don't even have to talk anymore. Now, like honestly, like we wouldn't really even have to talk. Like I could communicate, meet me here, but I wouldn't even have to say meet me here. I could just show you the Starbucks I'm thinking of in my head.
I show you. It would be like not communicating with language. It would be communicating with, like what you want to do, like communicating with direction, or like communicating with emphasis on I don't know. It's weird. It's confusing.
Yeah. Dude, I like how we got on the Neuro Link.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I forgot we're doing a podcast on Midsommar.
I like the part where she's breathing out the smoke right here. When she has the you turned right when he got his head in.
Holy shit.
Because that's the part where she has the dream that Mark and them leave her in the car, and like Mark's staring at her, like waving, like being a dick. I like that part a lot when Christian's like, why would Colin do that? And then she tells him, I could see you doing something like that about him leaving his girlfriend. And I was like, dude, because the way she says it too, I was like, oh man, that's like one of the few like mean things I feel like she actually says to him though, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's not very authoritative.
She's normally pretty. Yeah. That's one of the few things that she says that are like kind of a slight at him. Like, oh, I can see you doing that. Like, it seems like something you'd do, dude. Before we get any farther, I should have said this just because I don't want to fucking diss nobody. But like I said, Mupon did the she only did the opening painting. The other paintings that I was talking about that were done in the sleeping quarters and the bear that he sees that are burning, all the other paintings, they were done by an artist named Ragnar Persson, and I don't know if that's how you say it, Ragnar Persson, and in collaboration with the production designer Henrik Svensson and graphic designer Neil Svensson. Those three guys created the other images throughout the movie. Mupon is just responsible for that beautiful opening sequence, which is amazing.
Dude, and real quick, just to touch on that painting was fucking amazing, but the way that it opens up and opens up to this cold scene, I thought there was
opens up to that
to that exact snow, and then on top of that, the way that I love first shots of a movie for whatever reason. I fucking love them, but the first shot with the painting, it opens up and it has like a sound to it as it opens up, and then it's just this cold feeling. All these shots of this cold wilderness, it almost gives the movie, and then the singing, whatever the fuck is going, that singing part, it gives the movie a certain type of feel that is almost like, it doesn't really describe the movie at all, the opening shots, which is wild. It doesn't have any sort of theme with the movie, but it perfectly describes where Danny is.
Well, the opening, I feel like, does though. I mean, the tapestry and then the snow,
the cold part. I feel like it's a different vibe. Because it's a wilderness cold vibe. It's not nothing like the movie.
I think that's what it's supposed to. I think it represents though the darkness that starts the movie off. No,
true. True. Yeah.
Whereas Hereditary, I feel like Hereditary had this evil that's like throughout the movie in the soundtrack. This movie starts out with evil and gradually goes more towards a lighter. Because I mean, if you really think about it too, and Ari Aster even said this, like the Harga are not supposed to be bad guys or menacing. This is the way they live. That's why when the old people die and they're freaking out, they're like, no, calm down. Like, it's okay. Like when I think the girl tells them, she's like, when it's my time to do this, I'm going to be happy. Like this is what they believe in. So like, there's nothing, they're very forthright about their commune. Like they're not doing it to be evil. Like this is just what they do every 90 years, and it's not like supposed to be menacing. This is just the way they've all grown up. And because it only happens once every 90 years, every person, they only live till 72. Everybody only gets to do it once, and some people may not even ever get to participate in it because they only live to 72. So the people who do get to participate in it, they love it. And it's all painted on the walls. So this is all part of their culture. This is to us, it seems evil, which I think is another thing that I really wanted to talk about, is that to us it seems evil, but also if you watch the movie, I feel like it's also like Americans are stupid. Like, you know, like we have our culture, and it's like it's a culture clash. Like for the Americans, they're very like, oh, what the fuck is going on? But for them, it's like, this is normal. Like what you guys do is weird. The fact that you guys throw your old people in homes and that you let them live forever and get sick and you don't take care. Like we take care of our old until they're dead, and then we revere them when they jump off. This is like a symbol of respect. Like, look what you do in America.
This is a beautiful statement. Yes, the ending of old people and when they die, you know, righteously with dignity. Yeah. But they are also murdering strangers and decorating their bodies. I don't necessarily know if that culture is like that better than ours. You know?
Okay.
Why are they killing these random people? What's the point? This is part of the culture too. What the fuck?
Okay, wait. So the only one that I would say is a random killing is Christian, because Christian is, at the end they even say like there's 8. There's 4 from the Harga who volunteer, the 2 old people who die, and then there's the 2 who volunteer to burn at the end. So they actually do sacrifice 4 of their own members. And then there's Christian who gets picked by Danny. Technically, she's like, she has to pick somebody, so she picks him. But then everybody else, and then everybody else who dies though, like Mark, he pees on their ancestral tree like an asshole, and then doesn't say sorry, so he dies. The black dude Josh, he's going through the book in the temple that they specifically told him not to touch, and that's when he dies. And then Colin is trying to. Actually, Colin, I don't know. He's just trying to take off.
Both of them.
Yeah, him and his girlfriend just want to leave. So maybe those 2 are the only 2 that are like, okay, like maybe they didn't deserve to die. They just wanted to leave, you know? But I mean, it's part of their tradition. But you're right, though. It is menacing because they do say 4 from outside the Harga, 4 from inside. But it is balanced out. Like, we're going to offer 4 of ours. We're taking 4 of yours. But it is menacing because the 4 who are being offered don't know that they're going to be offered.
Yeah, they're just innocent humans.
But I would say, though, that Mark and Josh, though, deserved it. They did things that were very looked down upon in that they were told. I mean, Mark didn't know, but when he was told, he was still like, so what? And the guy's like, he's like, did you hear what he said? He said he did. So what? Like, they're pissed because they're like, this is our ancestors. Yeah. And then Josh was specifically told not to take pictures of that book. And he was in there taking pictures. So they killed him.
One thing I do need to say, which I fucking should have said in the beginning, but I watched this because I rented it on YouTube and I saw subtitles. But when I watched it the first time, there were no subtitles. So the entire movie, I didn't know what they were saying, and when they were in different languages.
Some of the parts are subtitled, but a lot of them actually isn't. And he said that's on purpose. He said that's on purpose to make the watcher feel alienated.
Okay, so maybe I did then. Maybe I did see. There were some parts I feel like there were none.
There's only like a couple parts where it's actually subtitled, like when he says like raise the fire, no higher, or some shit.
Okay.
But like a lot of it though, when they talk, you're right, it's not subtitled. But he said that was on purpose to make us feel alienated. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me open this door. This cat. You hear this fucking cat? Shut up! You're a grown man.
You're a grown man.
Crybaby. My bad. All right.
No, you're good. There was something else I was gonna say. I bring it up in the intro, but I think it's worth noting too. I really like the opening little song that kind of plays. It almost sounds like kind of lighthearted when they show the painting in the beginning before it opens. And the score was done by Bobby. I don't know how to say his name. KRLIC, like Click or something. But I guess he's a producer. Name is I don't know if you know him, but his name is the Haxon Cloak. I actually listened to his other albums. He has 2 albums of that, and they're really interesting. One of them, they all sound very similar to the Midsommar soundtrack. But I guess the first album is about a guy committing suicide, and then the second album, I guess if you start the second album right where the first album ends, it picks off directly after the first album. It was made 2 years later, and the second album is supposed to be the journey through the afterworld that the guy takes after he kills himself. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but it's very dark. It's very Midsommar-y, you know?
Midsommar.
Yeah. Yeah, Midsommar.
like that.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I really like the type of music that he uses in his movies. The scores are kind of interesting, and then visually, like we said, they're just fucking beautiful. So, hey, would you? I mean, I've been through a lot of the Easter eggs. So, what did you think about old shit? Oh, I can't think. Old incest boy.
Old incest boy.
The dude who draws the pictures, the one that has the crazy lips, and he looks
the big old thing.
Yeah,
the big old dude. I'm still kind of confused by it. He's the one who killed.
Yeah,
that one dude who peed on the tree.
Josh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Yeah. Because he's wearing his face
yes.
when he comes.
That's what it
and
is.
He sees
Okay.
Josh. Yeah, but he's a product of incest. Remember that Josh asked him, and he's like, "What happens when he dies? Like, who draws?" And he's like, "Well, we will have another one." He's like, we intentionally do that through incest. I honestly though didn't know the whole.
I didn't
point
catch that.
Yeah, no, he tells Josh. Josh is asking the questions. He's like, "Well, what happens when he dies? Like, who continues the book?" And then he's like, "Well, we'll have another one because we do this deliberately." But because they said because he's like mentally challenged that he's unclouded by normal cognition. But that part's weird too. That part that's one of the few parts I feel like that in the cult it does. I mean, in the cult, I didn't mean to say that. In the commune though, I feel like that alone kind of makes them seem batshit crazy. That they breeding a disabled person through incest is gonna give them this like book that is similar to like their Bible. And
they're definitely crazy, aren't they? Like they're definitely crazy. Imagine hanging out with them in real life.
I know. That'd be wild.
Like what the fuck?
Also, dude, I wanted to say this too. I don't know if you picked this up. I mean, I don't know if there is a similarity, but I find the yellow triangle building that they burn in very similar to the treehouse in Hereditary.
Oh, yeah.
It's a focal point of the movie that we really don't see the inside of until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happens in Hereditary. Like we see little clips where she's sleeping, but we don't ever really see the whole thing until the end. And it's very similar to the yellow triangle. We never really see inside of it until the end when they burn everybody. I don't know if it has any connection, but
I think that there's a lot of weird, deep-rooted shit Ari Aster's gonna tell us when he dies. Like he'll leave like another movie with all the secrets. But think about this. So I meant to bring this up earlier, but I didn't want to derail off. But there is something to be said, kind of. I think about even Hereditary, and also about a certain scene in the movie in Midsommar, where there's a story that's told from right to left. And I think it's the quilt story. The quilt art is told from right to left.
Yeah, you're right. They do. It goes this way. Yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck would that happen? And then I thought about it. And I feel like in both his films, the tragic part kind of happens in the beginning, and then it ends up with this. It's almost like the Damn album. Could it be
like you could watch it backwards?
Yeah, like almost like the theme could be used backwards.
That is interesting. And you think about it, it's told right to left, and you also think about how the camera flips upside down when they get to Harga, which is almost like a backward shot. But I mean, it also could be. I don't know because of Hereditary, but it could be like manga or manga, however you say it, like Japanese like comics. They're written from right to left, so I don't know if maybe that's a Swedish thing. I don't know though. I could be completely wrong. Mm-hmm. So it could be a culture thing, but you're right though. That is interesting because it is, and like that's what I was saying. Like this one, the tragedy is right in the beginning. Hereditary, it's very early on, and then later we get, I guess I don't know what the word is, but we get the moment where everything is
the resolution.
We get the resolution, which is supposed to come out the end. But normally, like I feel with like horror films, the big tragedy or the big horror, like the head being knocked off or her family dying, would be something that would be more towards the end, Mm-hmm. But you're right; it is almost that is interesting. I never thought about that.
It's probably bullshit. It probably means nothing.
No, yeah, but it is. I never really thought about that blanket is. It's the story is being told right to left, you know? So if it's being told right to left, could it be told the other way? Could it start with the burning and be told I don't know. I don't know.
It's probably just high shit. This is why
Yeah,
you should,
no,
this is why
I
you
like
don't
it,
smoke weed.
But not dude, the movie though, man, like for me watching it again, like I just got so much more out of it now. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I told you, dude, after I watched it this last time on Sunday, I was like, all right, I'm done watching this for a while. Like I don't need to see it again. Not because I don't like it, but just because I feel like emotionally it's very intense. And like Hereditary is almost so batshit crazy that I can watch it over and over again because it's almost hyper realistic at the end.
There's
but
there's
almost too realistic.
There's a supernatural aspect in Hereditary that isn't in Midsommar.
There's no there's nothing. There's no monsters in here. There's no ghosts.
There's a supernatural aspect, but it's because of psychedelics. Sorry, I keep cutting you off, bro. I'm sorry. I've done that.
No, you're good, bro. I'm not gonna lie though, you know, I've actually been wanting to eat mushrooms soon, and after watching this twice, I'm like, I don't know if I want to eat mushrooms right now.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah, I know. Baby.
Tell me when. I'm down
for the visual, bro. Dude, the visuals alone, man. I swear, like I never get over them, dude. Like the first, dude, this is one of my favorite parts too. Me and Frank were talking about, dude. I love when they first eat the mushrooms, and Mark, when they're laying down, he's like, "What time is it?" And he's like, 9. So that can't be right. I don't like it. And then when the new guy's walking over and he's like,
I don't want new people.
I don't like new people. And then when he's like,
no, he says, I don't want new people. He says, I don't want new people.
And I like when he's like, hey guys, I'm going to lay down. He's like, Josh, lay down. And I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure I've been like that too, but I've seen people like that, you know, like it was just so accurate the way they did
absolutely.
It. Yeah.
Even just the way she's sitting there, she's like breathing all heavy.
Yeah, because dude, it is. It's like when you're taking those deep breaths, just like, and then when she's talking to herself, she's like, no, just stop.
And
stop it.
But did you notice that what started to freak her out?
Was when they brought up family.
Family, yes,
yeah, family. Yeah. Which is the main point of the movie, dude. Because in the end, that's why she's gonna stay. She found a family, you know. Because dude, like when she finds Christian cheating on her, like I love that scene when the girls are crying with her. You know, like they're like. That's like the thing of the Harga. Like that's why she felt a home, because they actually related to her. They were crying with her. Just like when the old guy jumps and he breaks his legs and he doesn't die, they start screaming because they feeling it. Like they're an actual family where they're feeling everything with their family. They're not letting them, like Christian is letting her go through it alone. And they're not letting her go through it alone. Like, no, we're here with you. We feel this. We'll cry with you. We'll scream with you. We'll fucking feel it with you, you know?
And I think at the end, I feel, 100%. And at the end, when she's looking around at the very end, when she's looking around and Chris is burning, and this whole fucking temple is burning, she's looking around and everybody's screaming and crying with him. And the guy, once he starts screaming, everybody's screaming with him. And she looks around and she's like, what the fuck's going on? And then it's like the music changes and she like goes, and she understands it. She understands, they're feeling the same pain that he's feeling. We're all the same.
Burning. Yeah, yes, we're all
the same. She feels that. And, yes, exactly. And then she sees the protagonist, or whatever the fuck he is, dying and enjoys it. And that is the symbol that symbolizes her becoming this part of this new family. And
it's the end of her, the end of her old life. Her only attachment to this old life is now burned up, and now she can be reborn into this new family that actually cares about her. And then that's when she gives her first, like, I feel like real, actual, legitimate smile. You know, like a smile, like even though it's a little menacing and evil, it's like a real, actual, like, okay, like. We can do this. Like, you know, like when you have a really bad trip and you finally start coming down and you're like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to be all right. I fucking got this, you know? Like, it's fucking beautiful, dude. Yeah. I really like it. Yeah, I do like this movie a lot. And watching it now for this has made me like it just so much more. Yeah, it's not something I could watch all the time, but it's definitely something I will watch again. Dude, I would like to say, though, dude, I mean, if because I'm going to post those things on Insta, and if Mupan or Ragnar Persson or the other illustrators I mean, I doubt Ari Aster would ever listen to it, but if any of them ever listen to it, if any of you guys, and the artists especially, because maybe they will, fucking hit us up. Like, I would love to have one of them come on and do a follow-up episode where we can just talk to them specifically about the art, dude. Yeah. You know, like, or just like fucking comment and let us, because dude, like, I would love to talk to these guys who created the art, just like I would love to talk to the dude who did the miniatures in Hereditary. You know, I would love to have a conversation with.
Is there a guy who did those? Is there a certain guy? Remember? Oh yeah, you mentioned his name. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You're gonna look it up, aren't you?
Yes, I got it right here actually.
Hell yeah.
His name is
take your time.
Yeah, let's see. Colin Stetson.
Or Dana Vachon. Let's just have Jim Carrey on. Fuck it.
Yeah, we everybody at the same time. Steve Newburn is the one who did the miniatures for Hereditary. But yeah, dude, I mean, like, I just wanted to throw that out there. Just like, dude, I especially like, I would love to talk to Mupon about that opening. Yeah. It's actually, you should actually look up her website. Her paintings are really cool.
Okay.
I was looking it up earlier. They're very cool. You know?
I've been really wanting to get like good art. As you can see, we got this new cat art.
I saw that.
Yeah, so we're vibing over here a little bit, but yeah, I would love to have some legitimate art. So yeah, if anybody's interested in coming on, hanging out, email us audible484@gmail.com. But yeah, amazing movie.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward. I don't know what his next film is, but when Ari Aster's next film comes out, we're probably gonna have to do an episode.
100%, 150%.
But
I'm glad you brought these up, bro, because I would have never checked these movies out if not for this podcast. You know,
dude, I'm glad you watched them, dude. I've been wanting you to watch them.
Yeah,
so I'm
for
glad.
sure. I know. I've heard you tell me about them before, so it's like, hell yeah.
Is there anything that I left out or that you want to say about it?
I think it's worth noting that this is probably, other than what's that movie? Okay, hold on. This has some of the most realistic psychedelic experiences I've ever seen in a movie. It doesn't overdo it. It doesn't underdo it. The actors do a great job. The dialogue, the script is great. Everything that happens in psychedelic experiences is very spot on. And the only thing that compares to it for me is there's this movie about Woodstock where it's about this guy and he has he runs Woodstock or he lives there or some shit like that.
Taking Woodstock.
Taking Woodstock. Yeah, that has a very realistic. Yep, that's a super realistic acid scene. But
I've actually never seen it, but I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good movie, dude. You'd love it. You'd love it.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. I always wanted to check it out. I never saw it though.
That has a super fucking realistic acid scene. Probably when it comes to LSD, probably still the most realistic LSD scene. Still aside, Shrooms experience is very well depicted in this movie. That's super,
amazing.
Yeah, and even beyond that, like towards the end when Danny starts seeing the grass in her shoes and she does the dance and everything, that's almost like a 20-minute part of that movie where it's like a complete psychedelic experience. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking wild. It's fucking wild,
dude. I love too. Right after she wins, when she sits at the head of the table and they show the meat, and it almost looks like it's rotting. And that reminded me of like when you're tripping, like how meat kind of looks, where it looks gross. Like you don't want meat. Like all the fruit looks normal on the table, disgusting. And I was like, dude, that's so. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I was like, that's so kind of accurate because like when you're tripping, like meat is like the last thing you want, you know, like you want fruit or something else, but you don't want no fucking meat.
I will say that one time I grubbed down on some damn something real with some meat in it.
Are you talking about when you were threatening Tony with the knife?
Yes, I had chili cheese fries or something. Yeah, you did. Oh my god.
Oh, and then you were holding the knife at Tony, and we were all, me and Daniel were just cracking up, tripping. I was like,
I was like, what am I gonna do? Stab you or something like that?
We probably looked like maniacs. All of us were all like, like dying.
Holy shit! Good times. But yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, just great movie. I'm glad, it is. I could understand how people could see it as being pretentious and like a shitty ending, or I could totally understand that because most people probably aren't gonna watch movies like us. You know what I'm saying? Like in this podcast.
Definitely.
But
dude, I really like this podcast for that fact. Like, it's definitely like made me start looking at like art more carefully than I ever have before. You know, and like trying to learn about things that I didn't really know much about, and which normally I would just shrug off and be like, oh yeah, it was a good movie, it was crazy, and that's like would be the extent of my knowledge. So now it's like cool to dig into this shit.
You know what's crazy, bro, is our entire like friendship or relationship, whatever, has always been every time we talked, hey, you have you seen this? Have you seen that? Have you watched? Have you know? And it's just like now we have a place to like really fucking just do what we've always done. If anything, this podcast might be more natural than making music or making YouTube videos. This might be what we're more suited for in general, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, but also, dude, we need to also create.
Dude, I know. I love writing the intros when we do this. Like, when I write an intro and then I read it back after, I'm like, fuck, dude, this is dope.
Yeah. Like, it's fun. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah, it gives me something to do. It's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm not just like, we're not just coming on here and talk. Like, I leave every podcast with something to think about, you know, which is, versus just having a podcast like what we would have normally have done maybe a year or two ago where we just talked and bullshitted. Like, now it's nice. Like, I leave with ideas to think about. Now I'm going to be thinking about, hey, Christian's not that bad of a guy.
Yeah, for you.
I'm going to go tell Frankie right now.
Christian, I love Christian. Christian lover.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. Dude, one thing that I think it's kind of funny is Florence Pugh, I don't know if you read this, gave an interview when this movie came out. And in the interview, they had asked about the ending scene where she smiles. And she had made a comment saying, I don't know. She's like, I'm not 100% sure that Danny was fully aware that Christian was in the triangle burning. I think she might have been so gone that she didn't really fully realize it. But
wow,
so funny. No, but so funny that interview came out, and literally like a couple days later, Ari Aster did an interview, and he's like, no, he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I love Florence. He's like, but in no sense. And when I wrote this story, he's like, there's no way you can interpret the story where Danny didn't know he was in there. He's like, she didn't even in there. And I like though that he kind of, because normally he's very like mum, like very like, I'm not going to tell you. But when she said that, he came out quickly and he's like, no, I want to clarify that she knew he was in there, like 100%. There's no way this movie would have worked if I didn't think that she knew that he was in there, so I was like, cool, I like that.
The integrity of that. It's like, this man should have sat David Benioff and David Weoff down and said, look, little boys, whatever his fucking name is, said, look, little boys, we got some work to do. Okay, we're almost done. You guys can go do Star Wars and give it a week, give it a year, man. We're almost done.
I like how they're not even doing Star Wars anymore either.
Oh yeah, they got fucking fired because everybody shit on them because of Game of Thrones.
I think they canceled on them. I think they were supposed to do it, and they said they didn't have time to do it anymore. And I was like, that was the whole point of them saying they couldn't do Game of Thrones, and then they canceled.
I think what happened was they left to do Star Wars, and because they got shit on so hard because of Game of Thrones, the people at Star Wars were like, we're not gonna fuck with you. We're gonna have you guys come and do our fucking Star Wars movie? No. Everybody hates you now. I think that's what happened.
People might hate me for this, but to be honest, they should have just had him do it. All the new Star Wars movies suck dick anyways. Every single
shit.
Every single Star Wars movie that has come out under Disney, even the ones that were okay, has sucked dick. They're all just so stupid. They're like the Marvel movies. It's like they're never going anywhere, it's just to keep it going. There's no end point,
But wasn't Star Wars always like that?
The original 6, I mean, they're not my favorite movies in the world, but I would say they are good movies, especially the first 3. And dude, I've always thought it was super interesting that George Lucas decided to start with number 4 and did 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3 came out 10 years later.
Well, he didn't plan on that, did he?
Yeah, he did. The first Star Wars is called Star Wars 4, and then he starts at 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3 came out later. It's planned that way, but it's weird that
I don't think that they were 4, 5, 6 when they came out, though.
Bro,
no, they weren't 4, 5, 6 when they came out. Star Wars, the original one was Star Wars. I don't think he purposely did that.
Dude.
I could be totally wrong, but to my understanding, I think that it just came out. He's like, okay, then now we're going to do 3 sequels. And then the 4, 5, 6 numbers came out later. It wasn't like Star Wars 4. It was the first movie. It was just Star Wars.
Wait, what does retroactively mean?
Retroactively means he does it in retrospect. Like he does it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. See, he didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. With an effect from a date in the past. So the new rates will retroact.
Yeah.
Wait.
He didn't do that on purpose.
Oh, okay. So he went back. Oh, okay. I always thought he did.
That'd have been sick.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that fool has vision.
No. Hell no.
Funny vision.
No, yeah. I'm glad we fucking figured that out because I was about to be like, what?
Dude, I think this has been. I like this podcast. I like how we've started at Midsommar and went into Neuro Links.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Episode 4. But I mean, I will say though, again, the Disney Star Wars sucked. And they should have just let the Game of Thrones guys done it because they couldn't have done any worse.
That's
to
true.
Be honest, in all fairness, they did most of Game of Thrones good. They
because
just
most
fucked up at the end.
Because most of it they didn't write.
That's true.
That's why they did it well.
You know what? DVY or whatever your guys' names are, please come on the podcast and talk about it.
They're both named David. No, come to my house in real life so I can beat the fucking living shit out of both of you 1-on-2. You rich white boys don't know how to fight. Gun to my hood.
Yeah, man.
GG's, bro. Good fucking podcast, bro. Seriously, good fucking choice.
Yeah. What's next?
Oh yes, The Exorcist. The Exorcist is next.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I gotta. I think I've only seen that movie once, and it was a long time ago.
Make sure
to watch it again.
Make sure you're in a good vibe. I want you to enjoy this choice. The last few choices I've made, you hated. Okay, I need you to enjoy this.
Only Wizard of Oz. That's the only one I loved. The Jim
Logic, you didn't really like. I guess you didn't hate
it. I didn't hate it.
No, you liked it. That's true. Still, but I need you to like Exorcist. All right.
Yeah. So Wizard of Oz. Though.
Yeah. No, I get it. Wizard of Oz. I didn't really enjoy it at all. The movie. Yeah, I kind of had to force myself to watch it, but all the other shit was obviously interesting. Either way, but Exorcist, yeah. Get yourself in a good vibe. Have a drink. Dude,
I remember seeing Exorcist. I thought it was a great movie.
It is.
I've only seen it once, so
that's good.
Excited to watch it. Yeah,
watch it with Frankie, and you guys vibe out. Enjoy it.
No, dude. Speaking of, and we don't even have to throw this in the podcast. I guess.
Hold on. Let's just end it then. Peace out, everybody. Thank you guys for watching.
Mind Control. Ari Aster, come on the show. Mupon, come on the show. Ragnar Person.
Jim Carrey.
Steve Newburn.
Dana Bashan.
Everybody.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys in soon. Peace out.
Later, guys.